All right, Ultra Noops Nation. My name is Reid Nelson. This is Izzy Alkafas. This is This Week in Rec, Week 3, coming to you from Fridley. Decently eventful Week 3. Bulls blast the Avengers. UOENO takes over Fob 5 in Episode 5 of the UH Rewind. Red Devils win yesterday. We got a new Viking.
Rebels win.
Rebels beat the Red Devils yesterday. We got a new Viking in the league. So a few things to talk about. In a losing effort yesterday, Bryant Marmol went kind of off a little bit. I've been kind of talking about this for a little while. He, to me, is a fringe MVP candidate that gets lost behind some of the players on the team. He's getting lost behind Dustin DuPont right now. He gets lost behind Ratty and Maher on the Gorillas. Is he in the conversation this season as an MVP candidate? Bryant Marmol.
Yeah, he'll never win because, like you said, he plays on two really good teams that are just stacked top to bottom. So it's hard for him to really set himself apart because everybody's really contributing, and he's not. You know, Ratty, for instance, won the MVP because he's just a big dominant force. You see Ratty, and you're like, that's just a big dude, and he just dominates. With Bryant, he fills up the stat sheet and he fills up the box score, but he gets during the game, you just see him make great plays. But it's hard for a guard that isn't running the show, always having the ball, to win the MVP. Is he an MVP? Absolutely. I mean, I feel that he's the most valuable player for the Gorillas because I think he's the best defender that the Gorillas have, and he's the third most important offensive player. So that in itself, I think he's the most valuable player on the Gorillas. Now, with off constantly, I don't know how they, I don't watch them enough. I don't know how they run their team. I don't know where he fits, but I think he should be. He's definitely in the discussion. Is
playing on the teams he plays on hurting his candidacy? Like if he played on a UOENO, would he be able to stand out more?
It goes two ways. UOENO, they don't win enough games to get an MVP. On the flip side, the Gorillas have too much talent. Off constantly has too much talent. He would need to be on a team like you see guys like Noe when he was on the Avengers, where they had a really good team, but they didn't have just like seven elite players like Off constantly has, right? So it's a lot easier to win an MVP in a situation like that because you stand out not only on your team but in the league. So you need to get that second tier, not the elite teams, but the second tier teams that finished 6-2, 7-1 that necessarily weren't supposed to finish that in that spot.
Okay. Let's start tonight with some stuff in Fridley. Like we said, Episode 5 of the UH Rewind, UOENO takes down Fob 5. Cody Heinz tweaked his ankle a little bit. He appears to be fine. I don't think he's going to miss any time. Just a good overall game by UOENO. Talk about their win tonight.
It's huge. I mean, they played a team that's similar style, smaller, kind of hard-nosed, scrappy defensively, and just kind of like a run-and-gun style offense. And they executed just better. They made more shots. And they made the shots when it counted, and Fob kind of sputtered at the end.
Fob was ranked 7th in the Players Committee top 8. I didn't have them in my top 8, but they were ranked 7th. Was that a little too soon?
No, I don't think so. I think that they're a top 8 team.
But they're out of it now.
Yeah, they'll be out of it now just based on record, but I think they're a top 8 team.
I don't, but I guess we'll see how it. They will not be in the top 8 seeds come playoff time. Not with the way Casey plays post defense.
Yep.
Some good highlights from the UH Rewind, Casey, that I'm sure you're going to love to watch. So it's going to have a good time. So, okay, the Bulls are back in a big way. They lose last week to Off constantly, but tonight they made up for it. Not overly, not oozing with talent. They got talent. They got a good squad. But they really took it to the Avengers tonight. Talk about the Bulls and what having them back, is going to mean for them and the league.
Oh, it's awesome to have the Bulls. But Gino always puts together a good competitive team, and it's always nice to have the Bulls back. As far as that game, I mean, they score in bunches, and they scored probably 30 points on fast breaks. I don't think there was any refs tonight. Were there refs tonight?
Yes, there were refs.
There were refs tonight?
Yes.
Okay, well, there might have been refs. I didn't see them. But when they're able to just hound you and pick up those loose balls, and I mean, there was some bad reffing. If there were refs tonight, there was some bad reffing. But they'll put points up in bunches. The game was 27-11 with, I think, 5-6 minutes left in the first half. And then they went on a 78-27 run to end the game. That's a 51-point difference in the last 29 minutes of the game. That's unheard of. That's incredible. That's an incredible stat.
So the Bulls are back.
Well,
we ran out of battery. We had to plug it back in. So continue what you were saying about.
Well, you asked, so the Bulls are back, and my whole point is it really depends. They're a team that thrives off of turnovers and just kind of a mucky game. Stephen Kelsey in the open court is impossible to guard. You got Mike running down the court. Whiskas leaks out, doesn't play any defense, just kind of runs down the court, and then it ends up being 3-on-1 breaks. If the refs are swallowing their whistles and they double team and they pick up those steals, I mean, that is a layup. It's just a layup line. So it kind of depends. If they get two good refs reffing the game, they kind of know what they're doing, then yeah, they're going to struggle to kind of run away from teams. But if they get, Matt, who was here tonight, or Seal in Bloomington, they're going to just kill the league.
Moving on. So the Barracudas, they beat the Squids tonight, but we look back a week ago, and they only lost to UOENO by 4, which now looks like a pretty good win. Is this Barracuda squad playoff bound?
What did they win by tonight?
I don't know. It was a bid. I mean, they played the Squids, so I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, that's exactly how it came off. Here's the interesting thing. The UOENO, or they barely lose the UOENO. They give the game away. The UOENO kind of they look better than Fob tonight. So does that mean the Barracudas could keep up with Fob? I mean, that's like putting that in perspective. It's kind of hard to imagine, But essentially, that's kind of what happened.
They're not there yet, but
right. If you break it down, and then you look at. Off topic, while I'm on thinking about this, look at the Pigeons tonight. They won by 35.
Well, no, we were up by at one point 35, but Gavin, and I can't pronounce his last name, Ait, he hit 4 threes, just like bam, 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 bam. I was like, where was that all game long?
It was on the bench. I think they won by 30. So let's get this straight. The Avengers beat the Pigeons by 43. Off constantly beats the Pigeons by 39. Then the Pigeons come and beat Players Club by 30. The Avengers to Players Club discrepancy there is 73 points.
And the Bulls beat the Avengers by 40.
Yes. I mean, that is...
This game never works, but
but you know what I'm saying? Like, there are blowouts that don't make any sense. Like, there have been some bad blowouts in the first 3 weeks. Blowouts that you can't even comprehend how they're happening. And I don't know... We've never seen anything like this, by the way. So we don't really know who's good and who's not.
It's going to be, there's the Gorillas method, and say, hey, we'll pick it up come around March, which is fine. You guys will still get a 6, 7, 8, 9 seed, and you'll be fine. But like, how much does that 1 seed really matter? Let me ask you this: out of the last 8 champions, how many of them, and I don't know this off the top of my head, I'll have to ask Almanac over there, how many of those 8 seeds, or how many of those 8 champions were 1 seeds?
It's a great question. I don't know.
Let's go back. The Gorillas were. There's 1.
Yeah.
Big Smash was not.
No.
The Avengers
were not.
Not.
I don't.
Okay, let's
skip them. Yep. We'll go to the Celtics.
The Celtics, they were not. No. The Rebels were probably not.
I don't think they were either.
Then you've got the Turtles way back in early 2013.
Yeah, I mean,
they probably were. Maybe two or three.
tops. Yeah.
Let's say 2 or 3 teams were 1 seeds in the last 8 winners. So does it really matter? Which we'll have to check up on.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it really matters only because of odds. Odds are you're going to get the easiest path. You're supposed to. Now, sometimes it comes out and the 3 seed's probably the easiest path. So it really all depends. But in odds-wise, over the course of time, the number 1 seed does matter. But if you look at it under a microscope season by season, sometimes it might not at all.
Let's go back yesterday to Bloomington. The Blue Chips, now 3-0. They beat the Gorillas, 78-74, Gold Cup champions, now suffer their first loss of the season. The Blue Chips go to 3-0. Gorillas are now 2-1. Talk mainly about the Blue Chips and how that win's going to propel them into the rest of their season.
I like the Blue Chips. I think they got a good squad. I mean, Billy's such a good pickup. I mean, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. He gets lost sometimes, but Billy could dominate if he wanted to. He could shoot the 3. He could take you off the dribble. He's strong. Awesome player. Just all-around great player. Great addition. You look at Wetzel, just a crafty. He's like what Wiskus is crafty inside the 3-point line. That's what Wetzel is. He's got great footwork, uses pumps, finds a way to score. Awesome player. Arsenio, your defense is awful, but he runs that team really well offensively. So, I mean, those 3 guys kind of get things going for him. And then Bond's such a scrappy player. And then you have Kev and Briggs, good role players. I love teams that have great players to kind of carry the load, and then they have role players to fill in spots. So, I mean, you got to root for a team like the Blue Chips. I just like how they're put together.
Muskies beat the Squids by a really large margin.
Oh my God, let me talk about that.
Necessary to do that type of thing?
Junius, I love Junius, but my God, you can't press it. It's class. It's just awful. It's just I couldn't watch. I had to stop watching.
They pressed the whole game?
I was legitimately embarrassed to be watching the game. And I don't know how Junius is like, hey, they signed up for the league. We're gonna play our game, right? But at some point, you got to just say uncle and say, we're gonna give them. Let's just play and have fun. These guys are paying their money. They don't want to come here and have a bunch of jackasses play full court press. They're just trying to get exercise and have fun. You got to know who you're playing against. Doing a full court press and beating the Squids, you can call it practice if you want, but you're not gaining anything playing a press against the Squids. There's nothing you're going to gain out of it. So it's embarrassing. If I was on the Muskies, I would say I'll just sit because I'm not going to press.
So I can quote you. That was a classless move by Junius Ho's Muskies.
It's classless, yes, but Junius is self-admitted classless in basketball. He will say, hey, I paid my money. This is how I want to play, and we're going to play. He'll never if the Squids had 4 guys, Junius would have done 5-on-4 press. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I mean, Junius always wants to go 5-on-4 regardless of who he's playing against. So if the Barracudas show up with 4, he's like, hey, it's not my fault they showed up with 4. I see his point. But I am so far on the other end of the spectrum of his point that we won't agree. But I'm not saying that he is wrong in his idea, but I just don't agree with it at all.
New Viking, Josh Robinson. Did you get a chance to watch the goods yesterday?
Yes.
So Josh Robinson and Marcus Sherrills are both playing in Bloomington. Minnesota Vikings cornerbacks. I don't know what to say.
They're ridiculously fast. It's like another level of speed. And they run both very similarly. They're obviously trained to run fast because nobody in the league runs like them. If you watch them run, and it's like they look weird running, but damn, it's effective.
Do you think they're even giving 100%?
No, let me get this straight. Josh Robinson, if you're out for any chance watching this, you're a professional athlete. You're playing in a rec basketball league. And you spend the entire second half in the I'm tired stance with you know what I'm talking about when people are tired and they want to breathe. He spent the entire second half doing that on dead balls. either one, he's
not tired.
He's absolutely not tired. So what is he doing pretending like he's tired?
He's faking out the other team.
To do what?
So he can, get around them faster.
I would love an explanation, because if that's what pro athletes are all about, I mean, Whiskas is a pro athlete then, because Whiskas works a lot harder than that. Holy cow.
Okay, any other UH-related topics that you want to touch on?
Besides the refs? Can we talk about the refs?
No, we've already talked enough about the refs. So I want to get your opinion on kind of something that's going on in the news lately, Deflategate. Okay? What are your thoughts?
I joke with Helmy, and I'm like, just ban Brady, suspend I hate the Patriots, so ban Brady. I hate Brady. Ban him. Suspend Belichick. Just go throw the book at him. Here's the thing. I'm always on the side of, if you want to stop, and I do this with UH too, if you want to prevent something from happening, you just lay down the law so everybody's scared shitless and they won't do it. So if the whole point is to prevent cheating, do something that'll prevent cheating, not a fine. Don't fire the equipment manager. Take care of business, That's my opinion. What's your opinion?
I feel as though Bill Belichick knew everything.
Of course, yeah.
And that I feel, and I put this out on Twitter yesterday, and I know it's a little bit of a bold call, but I feel as though Bill Belichick may have coached his last game for the Patriots.
The league won't let that happen.
I don't know. And think about this. I think that if he's suspended for the Super Bowl, or for, you can compare this very similarly to Bountygate and Sean Payton. Very similar. Now, people will say that Bountygate was cheating. It technically wasn't cheating. They weren't cheating when they were doing Bountygate. They were just putting money on for injuries. That's not cheating. Yeah. It's different.
But then again, if I was the NFL, I would look at deflating of football less of an obstruction than trying to injure players. Like, that's just, you can't do it.
Well, again, but isn't football sort of, I mean, that's the nature of the game. It's just, you're not trying, but you're trying your hardest, and sometimes it happens. Well, let me say this. The Patriots are repeat offenders. Robert Kraft, he wants to be Hall of Famer someday. And I think Kraft is done with Belichick. Now, Belichick may coach in the Super Bowl, but I don't believe that he'll be their coach next season.
I will take that bet. That is.
Are you sure you want it? Because I'm pretty good at predictions.
We're going to, a $20 bet. We're going to do lunch.
Okay. That the bet will be that Bill Belichick will not be the New England Patriots head coach next season. $20 lunch. Yes, sir.
And by the way, the Patriots will not win the Super Bowl.
Well, I hope they don't.
Here's why. Here's my theory. If they let, I don't want to say let, but if they allow the game to play out and the Patriots win, the NFL is going to hear about how a team that cheated won the Super Bowl for years.
That's why they
aren't going to forget.
That's why they have to punish them enough so that it will be the opposite.
But if they let Seattle win, so refs, hey, don't call holds on third down, don't pass interference. They can under the table take care of that. And Seattle wins, people are going to forget about this whole.
I'll never forget about it. No, because I haven't forgot about Spygate either. Because I'm a Dolphins fan, so AFC East. No, the Patriots. Get rid of them, Goodell. All eyes are on you, Roger Goodell. I know you're not watching this, but all eyes are on you. Don't mess this up, okay? Cheating. We don't allow cheating.
Thanks for watching UH Rec. This is Izzy and Reid Nelson.
Signing off. Goodbye.